Good morning, my dear students, and once again, welcome back to the English online classes. I think you can see very clearly the name of the chapter which is displayed on the screen. Yeah, it's Ranga's marriage. Till now, we people had our lessons which had been telling us a lot of serious matters and also had been rendering us a lot of morals. But this time, I have picked up the chapter from your supplementary snapshot. That is chapter number 3, Ranga's marriage. No, the other two chapters, the first two chapters are not omitted. It's just that I want you to have a little fun. Reading, it's not enough. Little fun is very necessary. So there is little fun in this chapter. So let's go through this chapter and I hope you all will enjoy it. Now, Ranga's marriage, which has been written by Masti Venkatesha Iyengar. This chapter, as such, not a very great moral it is rendering to anybody, but it is about how a clever person can manipulate things according to his choice. The story is about a boy and our narrator. He is going to speak about him, especially about his marriage. You know how it is there in our country. When a person is born, when a child is born, after that, the next tension is what the child is going to do, what he's going to learn, what he's going to become. And when the person becomes something, the next tension is when he's going to get married, when he's going to have children. And I think more than the family, the neighbors, and the society is more concerned about it. So, this is something like that sort in this chapter. Not exactly, but it is related to Ranga's marriage and how our great narrator he manipulates to get this fellow married because Naranga was not interested in doing so. So it's quite interesting, and I would like you people to be in touch with each and every video of this chapter. Let's begin the chapter without wasting much time of ours. It's chapter 3, Ranga's marriage by Masti Venkatesha Iyengar. Ranga, the accountant's son, is one of the rare breed among the village folks who has been to the city to pursue his studies. When he returns to his village from the city of Bangalore, the crowds mill around his house to see whether he has changed or not. His ideas about marriage are now quite different. Or are they? Okay. In the introductory paragraph, you might have understood about whom we are talking. We are talking about a boy named Ranga, and we are talking about that particular time period when education was a rare commodity. Not everybody could um, afford it. So, from that village, which we people are going to come to know about, the narrator says that he was one of the rare breed in the sense that he was the most luckiest person who got the chance to go and study outside the village, and he was an accountant's son. He went to Bangalore to study, Bangalore city. And when he returned from Bangalore, it was like a event, festival for the entire village, and people they just crowded around his house to see that in the past days when he was staying in the city, whether he had changed any bit, or he's still the same old Ranga who left the village some months ago. And about his ideas of marriage, means what he thinks about marriage, that is what the narrator wants to speak about. And his idea will be spoken of in the beginning, and by the end of the chapter whether his ideas remains the same or it changes, that we will discuss later. Now let's begin the chapter. When you see this title, some of you may ask, Ranga's marriage? Why not Ranganatha Vivaha or Ranganatha Vijaya? Well, yes, I know. I could have used some other mouth filling one like Jagannatha Vijaya or Girija Kalyana. But then, this is not about Jagannath's victory or Girija's wedding. It's about our own Ranga's marriage, and hence no fancy title. Hosahali is our village. You must have heard of it. No? What a pity. But it's not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. Those sahibs in England writing in English probably do not know that such a place exists and so make no mention of it. Our own people to forget about it. You know how it is. They are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow it. When both the Sahibs in England and our own geographers have not referred to it, you can you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map, can you? And so there is not even the shadow of our village on any map. Okay, to begin with, our narrator he says that after seeing the title, you might be thinking that why the title has been given Ranga's marriage, why it is not been said to be something different like Ranganath's Vivaha or Ranganath's Vijaya. Okay, Vivaha, you all know that in Hindi it is called Vivaha and basically it means marriage. But why it has not been called as Ranganath's marriage means something little more weightage to be given to the title. Then he thought that I too could have used some mouth filling titles, means very attractive titles I could have used, like Jagannath. Jagannath is the god's name, so Jagannath's Vijaya, victory, or otherwise Girija's wedding, Kalyana. Kalyana is one South Indian word for marriage. But then he thought that when I am going to talk about the simple boy of my village who is going to be the hero of my story, let me keep my title dedicated to him. And because of that reason, I thought of giving the name Ranga's marriage, because I'm going to talk about Ranga, his life, his marriage. Then he said, you might be knowing about my village. The name of the village is Hosahali. And when he finds from the reader that they have never heard of the village, he was not surprised actually, because basically it was not the fault of the readers or the others. Actually, this name is not even mentioned anywhere in the geography book. He says that the people who are writing in English from England, he says, those big people, sahibs means very highly posted people, and he says that when they themselves don't know about such place, they have not mentioned it. Moreover, even our people, the Indians also, they have not written about it anywhere. They too have forgotten it. He says that everyone is like a flock of sheep. You know what's a flock of sheep does? Like if a flock of sheep means इनका झुंड, flock of sheep, इनका झुंड जो है, when it walks, and if a pit means gadda, if a pit is there in the front and the first sheep falls into it, the other sheeps will not understand that, oh, we have to change our way, a pit is there in the front. Instead of that, they will follow the sheep and they will fall into that pit. It's like, meh. Yes, they follow blindly. And that's what he has compared our Indian writers with the English writers, that when the English writers don't know, and the Indian writers also have followed the same thing. When the writers don't know, when they haven't written, then automatically the cartographers, means those who make maps, those who create the maps, poor ones, from where they will put it in the map. So because of this reason, even the shadow of their village is not seen anywhere in the map. Shadow means parchai tak nahi dikhai deti. Okay. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsha what the sweet Karikadabu is to a festive meal, then Hosahali is to Mysore state what the filling is to the Karikadabu. What I have said is absolutely true, believe me. I will not object to your questioning it, but I will stick to my opinion. I am not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hosahali. We have a doctor in our place. His name is Gundabatta. He agrees with me. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. If anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says, no, Anaya, I have left that to you. Running around like a flea-pested dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time, though. As a matter of fact, he has seen many. Okay, our narrators started speaking about Hosahali, his village, and then he got moved away, filled with emotions that the people don't know about the village, the writers have forgotten, the cartographers have not mentioned it in the map, so nobody knows about it. Then he feels sorry that he got moved away because the topic of the chapter was Ranga, so he just got moved off and he started talking about something else, about the history, about the English writers and Indian and all those things. So he asked pardon and he said that sorry, I got moved away, but I would like to introduce Hosahali. Now you might have heard of state Mysore. Okay, a very beautiful place. Lots of monuments are there to be seen, and big universities are there, and it's really a beautiful place to visit. And he says that Mysore to Bharat Varsha. Bharat Varsha means to India. How it is, you see. He says that it is like the sweet Karigadabu. See, I cannot explain Karigadabu to you, but I can speak about another sweet with which you can easily understand. You have all might have eaten up this sweet called gujia. Diwali time and all, everyone makes that, and you know what it is. It's a kind of a mold in which filling is there, sweet filling is there, a sweet filled stuffed sweet it is. Karigadabu is exactly like that sort, something stuffed sweet it is, and during the festival time it has been made. Now see the comparison being done. You just imagine if you are eating a gujia with no filling inside, how it will be tasteless. Now here he says that Hosahali is the same way to Mysore state. That same filling. Means if Karigadabu is the sweet, Mysore if is Karigadabu, then the inside sweet filling is Hosahali. That much important Hosahali is. That much beautiful Hosahali is. That much elegant Hosahali is. Then he says that, please, I am very truthful in what I am saying. Believe me. And you might be thinking that I am talking too much about Hosahali. Very proudly I am talking about. Then he said that I am not the only one who talks like that. There is one doctor in our village. His name is Gundabhatta. He also speaks very highly about Hosahali. He said that, about the doctor, he said that he had visited many places, not to any of the foreign place like England. And if anyone asked him whether you have, he said that he very humbly he says to that person that Annaya, brother, I have left that place for you. Means he says that I am happy in India, you can go and visit England. And then he says that running around like a flea pestered dog. You know what is a flea pestered dog? Khujli wala kutta. Yes, you might have seen that a dog which is infected with the fleas. Fleas means the insects which bite them. Mm, when they try to bite themselves, sometimes they go round and round and round about in the same place, trying to scratch themselves because of that itching and all. So he said that I am not like that. And he said that in my time I have seen a lot of places. You can go to England. And definitely he had seen many places. That's what our writer says. Okay, this is first thing he said about Hosahali, how he introduced Hosahali. Now in the coming two paragraphs, we people are going to see about two very special qualities of Hosahali. Means you can say that the most attractive part of Hosahali he had explained over there in this two paragraphs. Now he said, let's first read it out. We have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us and I'll give you a raw mango from one of them. Do not eat it. Just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to you, Brahmarandara. I once took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough we suffered from after that, it was when I went for the cough medicine that the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit. Okay, to explain about Hosahali little more vividly, he told about one special quality of Hosahali. He says that when you will come to our village, you will get the chance to see some mango trees. Visit us. And he said that he will definitely give on our visit, means readers visit, he will give some mangoes to them. But he said that please do not eat them. He'll give mango, but we are not supposed to eat. You know why? because that mango is very sour in taste. It's very sour. Khatta. It's very sour. He says that the sourness is so strong that sometimes it goes straight to your Brahmarandhara. Brahmarandhara means we people say that one small brain is there, or you can say that that particular, you might have seen that when a child is born, that top part skull is very soft. And you can see the even the palpitation over there. You can see the lub dub type of thing over there, not the heart. What I mean to say that brainy area is we're having a very soft covering, and it gets hardened up with the time. So he's talking about that Brahmarandhara. He's trying to tell us the you can say that the depth of sourness. And then he says that one day he himself was not knowing about the sourness of the mango. One day it so happened he plucked one mango and he took home to prepare, to get the chutney prepared out of it. The chutney was prepared and the whole house ate that. After that, the cough that he had, when he went to take medicine from the doctor for that cough, then he came to know that this mango is sour like anything, and that is a special quality of that mango. Now let's see what is the second quality he wants to speak about his village. Just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. This man, he really loves his village. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village pond. Its flowers are a feast to behold. Get 2 leaves from the creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about not having leaves on which to serve the afternoon meal. You will say I'm rambling. It is always like that when the subject of our village comes up. But enough. If any one of you would like to visit us, drop me a line. I'll let you know where Hosahali is and what things are like here. The best way of getting to know a place is to visit it. Don't you agree? Now, after the mango's speciality, the next thing that he wants to talk about is about a creeper. You all know what is a creeper, the one which grows with the help of a support. Yeah, like money plant and all. Yes. So he says that there is a village pond, talab. A pond is there in which nice fine water is there. And there one creeper plant is there. And he says that the flowers are a feast to behold. Means they are very beautiful to see. Feast to behold. Means it's like a party for the eyes. Yeah. And then he says that if you just pluck 2 leaves of that creeper when you go for bath in that pond, you don't have to worry what you will serve your food on in the meals during the meal time. And then he says that you might be thinking that I'm rambling. Rambling means when you speak too much, when you exaggerate, means आप जब बहुत बड़ा चढ़ा कर बोलते हैं. That is the meaning of rambling over here. And he says that, but it is always like that when it comes to speak about the village. And he said that if you people, any of you want to visit my village, just drop me a line, just inform me, and I'll let you know where Hosahali is and how to reach there. And moreover, I feel that if you want to know about a place, the best way is to visit. Sure, true. Now, in the next coming paragraph, as I told you that it is of a very that particular you can say that era, or that particular time period we are talking about, when studying was a very rare commodity, when talking in English was also a very rare commodity. People were not knowing much about this language and all. So we people will come across this particular fact. What I'm going to tell you is something that happened 10 years ago. Please, 10 years ago doesn't mean 10 years from now. It is 10 years from the time he had written this article for us. We did not have many people who knew English then. Our village accountant was the first one who had enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. It is different now. There are many who know English. During the holidays, you come across them on every street talking in English. Those days, we did not speak in English, nor did we bring in English words while talking in Kannada. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. The other day, I was in Ramarao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. Ramarao's son came out to pay for it. He asked the woman, "How much should I give you?" "4 pies," she said. The boy told her he did not have any change and asked her to come the next morning. The poor woman did not understand the English word change and went away muttering to herself. I too did not know. Later, when I went to Ranga's house and asked him, I understood what it meant. Okay, now in this paragraph, as we people can see, it has been said that it is something that he wants to talk about, which might have happened 10 years ago. But as I said to you, old statistic, it is not like that at all now. Just you have to remember that we are talking about a time period when English was not that much popular, and it was the village accountant, means Ranga's father, who happened to take the courage to send his son to study in Bangalore. But now it is totally different. Now English can be seen popping out at every nick and corner with everyone talking in English. And he's talking about the time when English was not included in the local language also, means Kannada. Then he says about that incident, which when he thinks, he feels that it is so disgraceful that it happened. And then the incident is like this. One day he went to one of his friend's house, Ramarao. Okay, and there they bought a bundle of firewood for burning in the fire, for cooking purpose. No, it's a fuel, firewood bundle, gutter. Hmm. And then time came for payment of that bundle. The lady who brought, Ramarao's son asked that lady how much she is supposed to pay for that bundle. That lady, she said, 4 pice, char ana. Oh yeah, that's the time period when annas were there, and that was the money being asked. So when she said 4 pice, this boy, he said, do one thing, I don't have change. He said everything in Kannada, but change he said in English, and he said that he don't have change. So the lady may come the next day. The poor lady, she understood everything. She understood that he don't have, and come the next day. But she could not understand the word change in that. And then talking to herself, muttering, talking to herself about what he said, she went away. Even our narrator also didn't understand what he said. What is this word change? He was not able to understand that. When he asked Ranga, then Ranga told him change means what? Change means chiller. That is what was the condition. So I'm going to give a stop to the video here, and we will continue with the rest in the next class. Hopefully you will come across the place where you will start getting more interested in this chapter. Till then, goodbye and take rest.